or the intro.
Let's get this party started.
Might as well.
Well,
Hello and welcome. Thank you for listening
very much so.
to yet another episode of Might As Well.
Yeah. Facts, really thank you for listening. We all appreciate it. I hope you still bump Dirty Santa. I know 97% of you male fans out here are listening to it. Shout out to the 1% of female listeners. Okay.
3.
I was 1%.
1?
I know, it didn't make sense. It was 97% males, 1% female, and 1% question mark, which still doesn't add up to 100. But it's cool.
Yeah, what a week. We on Spotify with Dirty Santa.
Oh,
We're
hell yeah.
artists now.
Hello official, man. Hello official.
We are.
Yeah, record label deal coming soon.
It's been a fun week. Also, some changes. I'm looking at you right now.
Yeah, it's true. I went for the buzz cut. I just really want my thoughts to be clear, and I feel like my hair was disturbing the frequency of the vibes everywhere I went. So I went ahead and got a vibe check done, and now I'm bald. And The Rock looks like he's my cousin. Okay.
Pretty. Yeah, looks good on you.
I appreciate it. My mom said I look hurt. This is what she said. You look like you're easily hurt. And I'm like, what is this supposed to mean? And then she said, but it's a compliment. And I'm like,
Oh.
is this a compliment?
Does it mean emotional? Or more like school shooter vibes? Or what is it going
I
at?
don't know. But then she saved it with saying, but you could also look like you just joined a Buddhist tribe. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I see that.
I mean, next year Halloween, Avatar. The Last Airbender. You have to go for it.
So definitely in my mind. It's how we do things. Oh man, this also I gotta say, in general, there were a couple of interesting reactions. My mom said that. My dad asked me if I'm fresh out of prison.
What are you doing over there in the Netherlands?
I have no idea, man. It's crazy. Also, I uploaded a picture on my personal Instagram, right?
Yeah.
And, look at follower count all you want. I don't really care about it, but it's weird. I posted a picture and 10 people were like, nah, I don't fuck with this anymore, and unfollowed me. It's kind of crazy.
To be honest, if you don't know your stream, and
Exactly.
the first picture was a portrait picture, right?
Yeah.
And then the second one was, because you made a thing about it, we acted like a cult.
Yes.
I can acknowledge that picture without context can be perceived kind of weird.
That is true. No, it's definitely fair. But I'm like, I just imagine like how funny it is to just scroll through Instagram like, he's bald now? Fuck no. And just unfollow him,
Didn't sign up for this shit. Fuck
Yeah,
it.
exactly. Fuck, I didn't want him to be bald. I can't do this anymore. Good vibes though, man. Good vibes.
Always.
Fresh cuts.
Yes.
Well, I see here on the talking points list,
Yeah.
you have Jake put down.
Jake
is
the
that?
Baked. Well, actually, this week I visited my sister, and my sister has our old house cat
Okay.
that belonged to the family. Then my parents got divorced. He lived with my dad, and now he lives in a student home with my sister.
Okay.
But my sister told me a story about this cat that I didn't hear before, and I told about my dad before in this podcast with the whole man versus lawn and how his lawn got stolen. And I feel like this story might be up there.
Okay.
So my dad in his apartment with the cat. The cat was annoying as fuck, so he put it outside. However, my dad forgot that he put the cat outside.
Okay.
So I think a couple hours later, went outside, couldn't find the cat. Fuck.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. Then later that week, he was working. He's a painter and he had to paint at a vet. Okay. And I shit you not, he is painting and he looks at the cat. And there's his fucking cat.
What?
It's not at the vet, sorry, I said it wrong. At the shelter.
Okay.
And there's his cat at the shelter. So he goes up to the desk and said, "That's my cat." "Yeah, sure, whatever, man, but you have to pay $360 for this cat."
What?
So he was like, "That's my cat. I want it." no, I mean, you have to pay for it unless you can prove that it's your cat. So he said, yeah, he's chipped. Let's check it out.
Yeah.
Went to the vet, couldn't find the chip. Chip was gone.
What?
So the people of the shelter said, yeah, you're gonna have to pay for this cat. So my dad said, I'm not gonna pay for this cat, and walked out like the most dad move. Like, I don't give a fuck about my pet. Fuck this.
Okay.
Day later came back and paid 360 euros for a cat that was his.
That has to be fucking humiliating. The day later to go back after making that whole scene and walking out, I'm not paying for this cat. And then they're like, just give me the fucking cat. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Good vibe, man. Good vibe.
But what a coincidence that he had to work at a shelter where he saw his own cat.
That is fucking crazy. Like, the coincidence is crazy, but I'm also kind of curious, like, what the fuck are they doing at that shelter? Like, taking the chip out of a cat?
Yeah, I don't know what happened there, but
What?
they just couldn't find it. Yeah.
That's kind of crazy. And then 360 for like a stray cat?
Yeah, because I think it's not even a specific breed or anything. It's just a cat. Yeah, I also don't know shit about cats, so it could be a very specific breed. I don't know.
Okay. But what kind of weird animal shelter? That gave me some weird vibes, man.
And it's just a very, very funny thought for me to see my dad with his tail between his legs walking back like, yeah, I'm gonna buy this bitch.
Yeah, but that's probably his thought process eventually, you know? Just painting like, fuck.
You know, that's every dad. I don't want this pet. And then a month later, they're the biggest friends ever.
Yeah, especially with dogs though. Especially with dogs, I think.
Yeah.
I mean, my dad was the same way. When we got the dog, JJ, it's kind of funny, but shout out to that dog. It was kind of funny because my dad also always never wanted to have a dog, and now it's like also his best friend. So it comes like that, huh?
It really does. Yeah.
Good vibe, man. I put down knowledge books for a certain reason as a talking point today. Now, I recently have gotten more enticed into like reading and like, you know, audiobooks or just knowledge, improving yourself, right?
Uh-huh.
The book that I'm currently listening to is Deep Work, and it's about, I don't know, general structure on how you can get into deep phases of work without distraction and like really get your shit done, basically, right? But me listening to this book, it's like, I know what he's saying definitely has some knowledge behind it, right? But all so far that's doing for me is showing me that even though I feel like I'm doing work, this book tells me like, oh, you go on social media, you bitch. It's like, you're never going to achieve something successful, you know?
Yeah.
That kind of vibe.
That's very black and white.
Yeah. No, and I mean, he doesn't say it like, oh, it's possible to like still have success if you use Twitter and stuff, right? But he like, it's so like, it feels condescending. Like it's not
like,
black and white, but just the fact that it's in there makes it condescending, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get what you're going at here. Yeah, and you know, I think it is really good. And we should all try to improve ourselves. But in the end of the day, you should also cut yourself some slack. And you're allowed to have some fun too.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. It always comes down to what you're trying to accomplish. And as long as you feel like you're doing the work necessary in order to achieve it, then I feel like you're already on a good way.
And the amount of people who are in their 20s and already have a burnout is fucking crazy at the moment.
That is fucking crazy. Mental health in general, like even for the younger generation of us, man, it's a fucked up thing.
Yeah, and even though personally I feel like there's more attention to mental health, like more now than ever before, but still the numbers are also as high as ever before.
Yeah, and I feel like most people just, it's always like, it feels weird. I feel like there are a different spectrum of people. People that say, oh, I have a mental illness without having a mental illness. And people that have a mental illness and don't even realize they have a mental illness.
Yeah. Yeah, well, there's also a conversation there about labeling. I don't know in to what extent labeling makes a difference in that. Because I feel like everyone can have a label. No one's perfect, and we all can have some sort of label, but does it really make a difference? I don't know. Maybe for some people to understand themselves better, but I also see it around me where people get a label and therefore assume that they can't do stuff because in general, people with that label can do it, but you're an individual, so it doesn't really matter. You can still try and
you can still have success with it.
Yeah.
But like that label was like a sense of like, oh, you can't do it.
Yeah, that you already assume like, oh, people on this spectrum are not good at that, so I'm not gonna. Or like, yeah, maybe you are. And it's just, yeah, you're part of that spectrum, but still it's very individual how it develops.
Yeah, completely. And I think what also comes to it is mental illness seems like such a strong label. Like mental illness is no like easy type of like term that you throw around and like, it has some weight to it, which I feel like would add to this whole effect that you said. But I agree. Labels are a weird thing in our society.
Yeah.
If you label the products you have, like products you have in your house or like Tupperware stuff, that's different type of labeling. But like labeling people is kind of always not ending in a good way.
Yeah. And like I said, for me personally, it isn't that way, but I get that's what helps for some people. So they have some recognition and maybe some guidelines, but then stick to guidelines and don't let it define you what your label is.
Wow, how inspirational.
I'm proud of that.
Out here, okay. Ended mental health issues.
Done.
Right here. Another one of the checklist. Easy.
Alrighty. Okay, I came across this morning and I don't really know what I want to talk about with this, but it was just so fucking baffling to me because I wrote down Cardi B face tat.
Okay.
There was this guy who got a face tat of a portrait of someone, and someone posted it with the caption, "Oh, look at this Cardi B portrait." Okay. The people listening can see it, but I'm gonna show this to you right now. That's not Cardi B.
It's definitely not Cardi B. It's an interesting face tat to get to.
Yeah, it's old news, by the way. I think it was like 3 years ago, but I came across it this morning. It's Anne Frank. There is a guy who has Anne Frank tattooed on his face. And in general, I already think having a portrait as a face tattoo is already a bit weird because there's a face on a face.
Yeah.
But Anne Frank?
That's just what do you know the reasoning?
Yeah, that's exactly. Because I wanted to get into this.
Yeah,
right? Like how does this happen? This first appeared. Whoa, okay. I'm destroying the place at the moment. Okay. It first appeared on his Instagram with the caption, "Pew pew pew, a bomb and 2 guns."
I like how scientifically you phrased that. It made its first appearance on his Instagram account.
So people started asking questions, right? What is up? But he's part of the Senarchy. Lil Xan and shit.
Oh,
so he said, haha, San Frank.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh.
So people needed more explanation because still why?
Yeah.
This is what he said. There are people in history that didn't have the power to control, to actually do things that they wanted to do with their lives. To be stuck in like a house and end up dying and shit. Dude, I'm dying making music. That's the way I look at it. She ended up getting caught and ended up being murdered. And yo, I've been put at gunpoint and I've had a lot of serious shit in my life.
It sounds reasonable in a sort of way, but I feel like that reference is just so extreme.
And to be fair, there is, in my opinion, there is no good argumentation to have a portrait of Anne Frank tattooed on your face. I mean, I get it, maybe like an arm tattoo or whatever, but on your face.
That's such a
and
weird
to
commitment.
San Frank.
I mean, goddamn. I gotta give it to him. It's kind of funny, but like, it is really fucked up.
It is really fucked up.
It's really fucked up.
And then to compare your life to Anne Frank's life is
even more fucked up, man. Even more fucked up.
Yeah, it was absolutely baffling when I saw this. Like, what is happening in the world?
That's so weird. I just today had a discussion about the Anne Frank house, which I feel like, when do you have a discussion about Anne Frank,
What did you have to say about it?
Yeah, no. because I was asked why I didn't visit the Anne Frank house in Amsterdam. And I said I wanted to have fun and not be depressed. And I feel like it's a cultural heritage, of course, you know, and I feel like everyone knows the story in some type of way, you know, not everything, but at least like the rough outline of what happened.
Yeah.
But man, that as a face tattoo is fucking...
I mean, it's part of the collective memory, but still.
Yeah.
And also, the guy, you know, it is a DJ, I think, and he also raps. It's Arnold is Dead. That's his artist name.
Arnold is dead?
Yeah, like the monk Arnold is, and then dead. Arnold is dead.
Oh, okay.
But kind of sounds like Arnold is dead.
I thought of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Maybe he's... Okay, yeah, fair. Good vibe, though.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know what I was looking for when I was looking up the reasoning behind the face tattoo, but I was still disappointed. I mean, my expectations were low, but holy fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I totally understand it, though. If I would have come across that, I would have totally researched that page, too. Because that's just interesting. Like, why the fuck would you have Anne Frank on your face?
Yeah, and I went on his Instagram and he also made like edits of Anne Frank with his face tats and shit. He's really milking this out in a way that I don't agree with.
Oh. Did Anne Frank also have the Anne Frank face tattoo then?
No, he left that one out though.
Oh.
He put his face on her face tattoo. Yeah.
That would be... Did he really?
Yeah, he really did.
Okay. It's fucked up.
And it's also not subtle, it's so big. It's so fucking big.
He's really big, man. It's like,
And also, how this all started with the bitch thinking it's Cardi B. It's fucking Anne Frank.
yeah, someone definitely needs to fact check that, man. Who saw that? And like, Anne Frank, like, especially on that, like, I guess you can't. It depends how you're gonna make a tattoo black. Necessarily, like, how can you even tell a heritage from a tattoo? But I feel like in this case, you can tell that the person that, you know, even if you don't know it's Anne Frank, is white.
Yeah.
So like, not Cardi B.
And to me, it's so baffling that people don't know.
That's true.
I don't know.
It's fucking crazy, man. But I guess America is also different than Europe, I think. I feel like Cardi B is more popular in America than Anne Frank is.
Yeah.
And I feel like here, more people know the name Anne Frank than the name Cardi B.
True. Yeah.
But I don't know.
It doesn't make it good, though.
No, definitely doesn't help. But it's America, you know? I mean, they're in shambles for a reason.
Yeah, I don't know. And also that you can just get that tattoo just... I mean, it's also freedom, so I guess I support it, but it's just, I don't know.
It's a weird paradox. Like, you wanna say like, oh, it's good. I mean, it's good that you have the opportunity to do whatever the fuck you want, necessarily. But then you look at this and you maybe think, maybe China isn't too wrong. I mean, who knows, man? Crazy times we live in. Crazy times.
Do you ever feel, because I was having a late night walkie yesterday with a German person and we came across a house and
okay,
it was a really beautiful house and then it had tiles that stated like this person lived here, this person lived here, this person lived here, murdered in Sobibor.
You mean like stepping stones?
Yeah.
Yeah, the house where my mom lives in, there are a couple right in front.
Do you ever feel, because I had a conversation about this with this German person, do you ever feel weird being at those places as a German? Like, is there still some guilt feeling, or how is that for you?
Wow, this is a deep question. I mean, in general, I'd say in history classes, we are just being pushed down with Hitler and German bad things throughout our entire like school career. But when it comes to that, it's shocking to see. Like, I've also went to a concentration camp, which I feel like was definitely like the worst scenario when it comes to all this. Because you look at that and you're like, man, I can't be proud to be German. I can't be. And I never was necessarily. But seeing like the Stones, and especially also being at a concentration camp and just like seeing like all this shit they did, it's so fucked up, man.
It's inhumane. I really wish it was inhumane, but apparently it isn't, and that's kind of scary.
Yeah, it is kind of scary. Like, I wouldn't say every time I'm seeing a stepping stone, like, I'm pausing for, like, 5 minutes, looking down and think about all the bad things that I didn't do, but my, ancestors, so to speak, even though I don't have any ancestors who were Nazis. But, in general, it's just a weird feeling. But it's crazy that people in general are ready enough to do this type of shit. Over religion or like over some types of beliefs. Like, what the fuck justifies this behavior?
And it's really not that long ago.
No, it's really not. It's like, quick math. 70 years now? 20, 55,
I think
70,
75-ish.
Yeah.
75.
It's just one human life, and there's still survivors.
And that's so special that we still have survivors.
Which is crazy. There's also this big German thing every few years or not, where people who worked at concentration camps and actively helped killing those people, they're now like 90 or like, even older, but they're still in trial and like they're still going through this whole shit, which they should. But it's crazy that shows like those people are still fucking being brought to justice, so to speak. Yeah,
did you see the Devil Next Door, I think was called, documentary?
I did.
That's exactly one of those cases.
Yeah, but I wasn't in the documentary. Did he actually do it or no?
Well, the thing was that they tried to convict him from being Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah.
But in the end, proof kind of showed that he probably wasn't, but he still did some questionable shit. Like, he still worked in the concentration camps and still just did inhumane shit, but he wasn't specifically Ivan the Terrible.
Yeah, which, he's kind of like a very famous Nazi.
Yeah.
So,
really the devil. Pushing people into the gas chambers, cutting their breasts off and shit. That's...
But they did so many fucked up things, man.
But also, it's fucked up, but then in a way I can appreciate the efficiency of using Harris as carpet. I don't want to say it's good in any way, but if you're gonna mass murder, then... I don't want to say might as well in this context.
It's a new motto of this podcast. Want to murder someone? Might as well, As long as you see it, use it.
I told you the story about Parachute Guy, right?
Parachute? Yeah. Man, I love that story, though. I love that story.
Okay,
it's fucking crazy.
For the listeners. For the longest time, I had a weird neighbor that lived in my street who always said, "Yeah, my dad once stepped the guy who came from Canada in the Second World War to help us out. He came with his parachute and he stepped him." And then later for a school project, I talked to a survivor who knew about Jewish people, and I was kind of unraveling their story, what had happened to them. And he told a story about how he saw a guy from Canada going to help, gliding down on a parachute and immediately being stabbed to death. So this story was fucking true. I always thought that this guy was just talking bullshit, but it was true.
It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah.
I'm still in love with the scene. It's fucked up, but I would have loved to see what the fuck that looks like. The dude just coming in with the parachute, and then the other dude just like trying to stab him from there, like, "Come down, you bitch!"
Also, coming from Canada to help free a country, and then you can't even make it to the ground.
That's kind of sad.
That's fucking sad.
The other thing is, what the fuck was that motherfucker even doing? Was he just alone parachuting? It was like, "I'm gonna free this country." Like, I don't know. I feel like it's kind of ambitious.
Yeah, that's also very true.
Probably landed in a beautiful tulip field and was like, probably got stabbed right between those beautiful flowers.
I feel not offended, but I feel like you kind of mentioned me in a talking point. You wrote down Nut allergy.
I did. So just to clarify for the viewers, we were having like a small Christmas dinner, and we talked about, you know, if everyone has like a food thing going on that they can't eat, and Jay has a nut allergy. Now I'm just bringing this up because he said in the group, everything except for peanuts and hazelnuts. Those you can eat. Mm-hmm. And what type of nut allergy is that if you can eat peanuts and hazelnut? That's just my question.
I don't know. I just basically you can do a test in a hospital, and then they give you a list with different types of nuts, and it just says you can eat them or you can't.
Okay, but like that's kind of. Do you have? Because I also had one of those allergy tests done, but I don't think they tested for every specific nut. So do you have to like specify? You get like a broad test, and then you're like, oh, let's go through all the nuts, and then you have
No. I think that it wasn't like putting something on your skin test. I don't know exactly how I did it. I was younger at the time, but it's also just trial and error, right? I mean, I know I can eat peanuts and hazelnuts, maybe more nuts, but I'm not gonna try.
Okay, fair. What about strawberries?
Yeah.
Aren't they also like kind of? Isn't this the thing with strawberries that they aren't fruit? They're at least like type of other.
Tastes like fruit to me. I don't know.
I don't know. Maybe tripping.
I don't know. I just know. Also, the story, how I found out I really had a nut allergy. I told my mom, like, hey, I probably have a nut allergy. Please don't put nuts in my food. As any respectable mom would do, is not put nuts in my food.
Yeah, makes sense.
And she made me a dish, and I kind of started having symptoms in my throat. But I thought, no, it's my dear sweet mom. I told her I'm allergic to nuts. She would never put nuts in there. So I continue eating until it's like too much. I can barely, fit anything through my throat. So I had to ask, Mom, are there nuts in here? Yeah. And now I know you have a nut allergy. So just wanted to try it out for whatever reason.
She really said trial and error. If he dies, I'm gonna just get another one.
If he dies, he dies.
But we gotta see if that nut allergy, if he's lying about this or not. Let's bring it to the test.
Yeah.
But also, doesn't that make you really incapable of a gay person to have a nut allergy? Sorry, we had to make one joke, If we talk about nut allergy for 5 minutes, someone had to.
Yeah.
Wild times.
Oh boy. Okay. We mentioned before, definitely fact check everything we say, right?
Yeah,
because throughout the week I came across an article and I don't quite remember it, but I think I remember enough to talk about this.
Let it rip.
Because I wrote down Skippy, Florida.
Oh, I already love this. Okay, yeah.
There was an article with the title, Man Robs Wendy's with an Alligator.
That's a headline. Is it Florida Man?
It's a Florida Man.
Of course.
Now, this is already a great title for an article, right? But the more details you find out, the better it gets. Okay. You can already think about robbed it with an alligator. Is that like an accomplice or a weapon? What is going on here?
Like, was the alligator wearing a ski mask? That's we gotta ask, Yeah, was it kidnapped?
Yeah, and do you use it as a weapon, and how?
Do you hold it in your arm and like try to snap people? Or do you just toss it in?
Yeah. Well,
see what happens?
What happened? This guy went through the drive-thru and just yeeted a fucking alligator through the drive-thru window.
Low key, he kind of strong. Like
I think it was like 1.5 meters, maybe meter. Like not the biggest alligator. Okay. I saw a picture.
Okay.
And how did he get this alligator? He just found it on the side of the road. And took it with him just for the robbery. And also fucking baffling. What is his best case scenario here? No one's gonna give you money. There's a fucking alligator on the ground there.
That's true.
So was this his last resort? Like, I'm not gonna get money here. Alligator, there you go.
I can't pay. Maybe he had to pay and just tossed it in. And then he drove away with the food.
Yeah. And also, living in fucking Florida, that you can find an alligator by the side of the road that you can just take with you in case you want to rob something.
It's pretty crazy.
Yeah. And only in Florida, this guy was sober.
Okay.
Can you imagine how fucking crazy a Florida man would be on drugs, on alcohol, on any influence if they come up with this plan sober?
Fuck, man. That's a plan, though. He made plans. I mean, when I was in right before this whole situation started, when I was in Florida earlier this year. Great vibe. I also saw an alligator right by the street. Like, we went to go on one of those Everglades tours, you know, and they also had like a alligator just chilling like right next by the road, and we're like, is it fake? Like, it didn't move, you know. So like, the fuck. And then there were these like I think Russian guys who were also like, I don't know, in the same boat with us, and they were so fascinated the entire time. It was hella funny, but like, they were talking in Russian, I think, you know, but they pointed out to the same
As
shit.
Russians do, yeah.
Yeah, they spoke Swedish, so but yeah, it was a wild experience, seeing alligators up close. I also took them, and then we robbed Popeyes. His story is actually about us.
I mean, yeah, you can come up with this, but who actually does this shit? Just does this. Imagine fucking working there. And a guy, imagine being in a drive-thru in the car behind, seeing all of this unravel.
Just seeing someone fucking toss an alligator through that thing. That's wild, man. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
I
Just
really, like,
yeeted an alligator.
that's crazy, but also the courage to just go ahead. If you see an alligator on the side of the road, why is your first instinct, maybe I can use this later? I'm gonna just take it with me, you know, see what happens.
Yeah, I'm kind of disappointed it wasn't then accomplished though. Like, man, robbed Wendy's with an alligator.
That would have been better. But baby alligator's kind of cute, man. It's like, if it's
Yeah.
but like
Some good snappers.
1.5 meters is also not the smallest anymore.
No, they can bite.
Yeah, I feel like they could definitely chop a
But
little finger
I
off.
don't really know how he did it, like where he kept it in the car and how he can toss a live alligator without being bitten in the first place.
Alligators, I learned this. Yeah.
Because
there's a big difference between alligators and crocodiles. Alligators don't really give a fuck. Crocodiles do. So alligators just want to chill in one place, and they eat like every time, like, I don't know, a couple of months. And crocodiles are kind of like more actively hunting for something. They also can go like a long period of time without eating. But in general, like, for example, if you're like in a pond with alligators and you swim in it, you're pretty safe. If you do the same thing in crocodile water, you're not safe.
Yeah, I get that, but I still don't think they quite like it when you pick them up. Like, they're probably gonna bite, right?
That's fair. I mean, I had one on my arm, so I picked one up, but it was a baby alligator, and it was also like wrapped, you know, around the snout so it couldn't bite. But that thing didn't do anything. Maybe it was also dead inside because it always gets picked up, which I also understand, but I don't know.
Yeah,
man.
it's a big risk to take, just grabbing it from the side of the road.
That's true, but he's Florida, man. Maybe
Yeah,
they deal with it more often
That's
than
also
we do.
true. They're also quite immortal at things.
But gator stories always bring me back to one of the best
Car rides.
car rides and bits we ever had. We talked about this for quite some time.
Too long,
Way
to
too
be
long.
honest.
But we gotta bring this up because it fits in here.
Yeah.
So Skippy in itself is the alligator we named, the hypothetical alligator that we would deploy in a Netherlands canal. Because the question is, would it survive?
It's just an experiment, you know.
Yes.
It's not for our pleasure, it's for science.
Exactly. So if it grabs the occasional 3-year-old, you know, it's
Which-
okay. It's for science.
Yeah, you know. A man can only hope, but it would be for science.
Exactly. That's how we gotta see things, you know.
Yeah.
But I really hope one day we can use experiment Skippy and find out if alligators would survive.
And we came across the best video on the internet on that trip.
Yeah, because we went ahead and schemed how we could get an alligator into the Dutch canals.
Because mind you, again, this was a 2-hour conversation. Because we were already done in a minute now. You know? we had some details. Already.
Yeah, exactly. And we still remember some of those, you know? So there's a aqua zoo pretty close to where we live. And they have alligators, believe it or not. So we thought of this way to maybe get a bald eagle to lift the alligator up and out of the zoo, so we're not, actually in charge, and just toss it in a can.
We like to outsource for this transportation.
Exactly. So we're just gonna ask a nice eagle to see if he can help us, and then we stumbled across the greatest of all time video. Short goat video where eagle picks up a goat and just tosses it down a mountain.
But it doesn't sound funny when we say that it falls for so long.
And the camera shot is so wide and he keeps following the falling goat. There's some comedy in it. I'm sorry.
We mentioned this before. We have been interviewed for this podcast, and I don't know why, but we stumbled across this video. I think we had to laugh for a photo, so I just said, well, if we watch this video, you will have a genuine laugh.
Yeah.
10 out of 10.
Yeah.
We're definitely gonna laugh at this. So we showed it to them, and we were pretty much on the ground laughing. And the interviewer was like, huh? Yeah, I guess.
They walked away from that video. That wasn't it. It's the same with the interview, man. They were not feeling that video.
No. Important to mention, our pictures didn't even go in. We mentioned that we took some
very questionable pictures.
Yeah, then we put some effort in.
Well, first ever gay photo shoot.
Yeah.
Right there. I mean, someday we gotta show some of the pictures, I feel like. Just a tease. But like we gotta do that at some kind of milestone. Like 74 Spotify streams.
75.
Okay. Not undersell a value here. Those are some precious pictures.
Oof.
I also I wanted to mention this because in the whole improvement way of things, I recently started to write comedy. And I wanted to implement it in my Twitch stream. So I'm saying this in the podcast because it was kind of weird for me. I never wrote comedy before, right? Never did it. Like, it's comedy, especially also this podcast, for example, right? We're doing it and it's a comedy podcast, right?
Yeah.
But it's just because we generally think we aren't the unfunniest and we make people laugh from time to time. But that's our only validation, right?
Yes.
So writing comedy feels different. It feels planned. It feels like more having something scheduled, so to say, right? And it was weird to get into that process and start writing comedy. But it's an interesting process and I'm going to see where it takes.
Yeah, I've tried it before and I can definitely acknowledge it's a bit weird.
Yeah.
Because what I like about... I really like being spontaneous with joking. And I don't like putting myself in the position of, hey, I'm going to do comedy right now. I'm going to do stand-up. Look at me. I'm the funny man. Yeah. That's a weird thing for me to do, if that makes sense.
Yo, it makes sense.
I'd rather do something and implement comedy in there.
Yeah.
And not have it as the main thing you're going to do. But that's just a graduate process, I think.
Yeah. And generally, I completely agree with that necessarily. Like, I'm not doing this because I say I want to do stand-up comedy. But I think the process of writing comedy is going to improve my comedy writing for, like, if I would ever do a comedic show or, like, a comedic TV series or something, then I feel like that history would necessarily maybe benefit me when it comes to actually writing comedy.
And everything you do is just experience, right?
Exactly. That's
maybe you don't even know how you're going to implement it later, but at least you're doing something.
Yeah, exactly. It feels like improvement, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh boy. You know, I wrote down queer baiting and I know what it is, but I don't know why I wrote it down.
What, queer baiting?
Yeah, it's just a term I came across. Because apparently, we talked about something in the last episode, like verbal clickbait, I think.
Yeah,
and I feel
Kevin Hart thing.
Yeah, this is kind of in that niche, is queer baiting. It's when movies or TV series kind of hint that a couple is gay, but they never depict it. So they don't mention they're gay, but they kind of hint it.
Okay.
So they still get the queer audience maybe, or the LGBTQ+.
Okay.
I said it correctly in one go.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah. Good job. Okay.
That audience involved, and still people who maybe are homophobic or not comfortable with it yet, they also have them because they never really depict they're actually gay.
Okay.
And I don't know where I was going to go with this, but it's a quite interesting thing.
That makes
development.
sense. You have an example?
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen it, Sherlock, the series.
Yeah, I have.
I think there's definitely hinted that he's gay, but they never really depict it.
Okay, that's fair. I
Yeah,
also have an example.
Oh, tell me about it.
Troy and Abed, Community.
Yeah.
Watch Community.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
I feel like it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, and they also did it in Star Wars Rogue One, I think.
After the first Disney one, I'm kind of getting what's Rogue One? Is it the like extension they had in between the movies?
Rogue One is a Star Wars movie, so it's not part of it's not canon. It's in between 3 and 4.
Okay, so like that's the one that they filmed recently, right?
No, that is some years ago.
No, but like not. But I'm
It's
saying
a
it's not one
newer-
of the old
Yeah,
Star Wars.
basically, yeah, original trilogy, prequels,
Yeah.
sequels, and during the sequels, Rogue One came out.
Yeah, okay. No, I haven't watched that. I haven't watched that. I wanted to clear. Star Wars movies get confusing at this point. man.
Kind of true, yeah. Oh, The Mandalorian. Did you? I just finished The Mandalorian like yesterday.
I have not seen The Mandalorian. I just know the Baby Yoda meme. But that's kind of it from it. But what's it about even?
It's about the Mandalorian, which is a bounty hunter.
Okay.
I don't want to get into much detail for the people who are not into Star Wars, but kind of like Jango Boba Fett. So
Okay.
a bounty hunter,
Yeah.
and he needs to. There's a bounty on Baby Yoda, but he doesn't kill it, and then he needs to take care of it in some way, and that's what the series is about.
That's kind of cool.
But the last episode had me excited like a little kid again, like in front of the television. Like
shit.
emotional roller coaster going on, and it was really cool.
Oh, damn.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good series. I recently found, because I mentioned Community, right?
Yeah.
Have you seen it?
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm currently watching it, so I'm not done. But what I realized is kind of crazy. So do you know who created Community?
No.
Dan Harmon. You know what else he created?
No.
Hangover, which is kind of like a
Joker as well.
pretty famous movie. He did Joker too,
He did Joker.
the new one.
Yeah.
Motherfucker, is crazy.
Yeah.
You know what he also did? Rick and Morty.
Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
He did?
Yeah. It's
Wow.
by him and Justin Roiland.
Yeah, because I know that guy.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
also is the voice actor of Rick, I think.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
Dan Harmon is also like writer and creator.
He has a variety of what he does. So even like Hangover and Joker are so different.
Completely but great movies.
Yeah.
Like the dude is good.
Yeah.
Like that's the one thing. If you look at his media products, like all of these products are fucking loved, you know?
Yeah.
And that's crazy. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah.
I feel like show creators don't really get the type of credit
Oh, definitely.
they
don't.
actually deserve.
There's this really interesting series on Netflix called The Movies That Made Us. And they basically show the process of a movie, like coming from an idea to a script to production. And then you see how little of a part actors play in that.
Yeah.
And then to see how much acknowledgement they get. In the end, they don't get the paychecks like the other people do. But still, it's kind of weird how... Of course, they kind of can make or break a movie.
Yeah.
But they couldn't have done it without a scriptwriter or a screenplay scenario guy or a good director or
Yeah.
anything.
I mean, for example, I have no idea who created Friends, but
same.
I am 80% sure. Like the actors played a part, and I don't want to discredit the actors' role in all of it. They fit great to their characters, but they're only as great as the script and the writing and stuff made them necessarily.
But that's also the magic of the guy you mentioned. I don't remember his name. Of the
Dan Harmon?
yeah,
Yeah.
that guy. During Joker, he let Joaquin Phoenix, who has the main role, he
Yeah.
plays the Joker. He gave him a lot of freedom in what he wanted to do.
Yeah.
And he has trust in his actors to also improvise. Because in The Hangover, you have the Ken, I think, the Asian dude who also
Yeah,
plays in Community.
yeah.
He also let him improvise during the movie.
Yeah.
So that's also some fate in good actors then.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like, I mean, he worked on him with Community, I guess. So then it's more like a trusted environment anyways. But it's crazy. I think it shows that you need to have trust in people in order to create a great product. If you constantly nag on someone, then it's going to show in the product. If you give them freedom and trust, then you may not have what you wanted, what you originally wanted, but maybe it's a better product in the end.
Yeah. But that also has to do with just good casting, and you can't always get the person you want.
Yeah.
That's also in a movie that made us. Die Hard was not meant to be for Bruce Willis. Turned out great.
Yeah.
But they had a lot of different actors they kind of wanted for the role but couldn't get.
But it worked out pretty good at the end, I'd say.
Yeah.
The movie franchise is pretty famous.
Yeah. Oh, what's your opinion? Is Die Hard a Christmas movie? The first one.
I'm gonna say it, I haven't seen it.
What?
I haven't seen Die Hard.
Get out of here.
I haven't seen it, but it's pretty famous.
Well, this is the end of Might As Well Do podcast.
This is enough. This is where I draw the line. I mean, I'm sorry. I feel like in general I'm slacking when it comes to classical movies. I feel like I just haven't really... I've always been more into video games than I've been into movie products or like shows, and now I'm like starting to pick it up a little bit, but I don't know, I'm missing out on a lot of classics.
Great thing they did in Die Hard. It's in the end there's a bad guy hanging from something and he falls down, and the actor who also plays Snape in Harry Potter, I forgot his name.
Isn't he dead? Rick.
Yeah, Rick.
Rick something.
Man, I don't know. However,
but Rip.
Yeah, Rip. He actually did the fall because he needed to get his face. That was it. Nothing. I'm still working, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Because he needed to get his face. It was an overhead shot of him falling. So they literally let him drop 40 feet on a big cushion, and they said, "We'll drop you at 1." But they dropped him at 2. So the thing you see in his eyes, the fear is really there. That was not acting because he really didn't expect it, and it was a big fall. So it was really
shit.
Yeah.
It's kind of fucked up. Like, damn.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes you gotta take that risk, huh? You're like, is that actor gonna be pissed at me if I press it at 2? Maybe, but it may be a good shot. Fuck it.
And it's a beautiful shot because you can really see the fear in his eyes as he's falling.
That's
like, you guys did me dirty.
It sounds so sadistic at the same time.
Talking of being sadistic, the fucking Home Alone movies, I rewatched them the other day. Holy fuck, that dude has some issues.
You mean Kevin?
Who else?
Okay, fair. I can't believe Trump is in those movies, man. Yeah. Like, that's so weird. In general, what a career Trump had in entertainment is so weird to me. And now that motherfucker's president.
Yeah. He's really just a caricature of himself at this point.
That is true. That is true. Also, today, the 19th of December, marks a very historic year in the history.
Today marks a... Wait, what?
No, because today, I think I wanted to look up what happened last week to find, like, talking points for this podcast, right? Uh-huh. And I stumbled across a very weird website. It was like, what happened last week, but it seemed, like, pro-Trump and, like, very weird. It was the first thing that popped up, so that was kind of confusing. But anyways, today marks the... I think 1999 it was, like exactly on the date, 21 years, Monica Lewinsky and I think, was it Bill Clinton? No. Was it Bill Clinton or George Bush? Who had the... I think Bill Clinton. Monica Lewinsky, the famous affair that the US president had with his secretary. I think it's exactly the time that it came out, I think. Or something in relation to that topic.
I did not have sex.
Did not have sexual relations with that woman.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Guess you did, huh?
Yeah. It's pretty weird. I also, I research dating shows. Because I always watch dating shows on my stream. It's kind of a thing. It's kind of entertaining, though. And Monica Lewinsky, from her fame, which is basically just being... a secretary that fucked the president, right? Mm-hmm. She was a host for a dating show, which is pretty fucking crazy. But shout out to that TV network. I think that was smart marketing.
True. And I mean, if she does a good job, then
Exactly.
go her. That's all I can say.
Made a career out of fucking a president. That's good, man.
I mean,
I feel like a couple of women have.
yeah. Gotta make some bread.
Yeah, exactly. If it works, it works.
Yeah. There are worse ways to make money,
Definitely.
like recording a podcast.
I was about to say the same shit. Like a therapy session
Yeah.
that we record.
Yeah, we can't afford therapy, so we just make a podcast.
And you guys are our therapist. So if you have anything to say, please let us know.
Ooh.
Voice messages, put it on Instagram.
Oh, yeah, I didn't check before the episode, but I don't think we have any, but just to be sure, you know?
Yeah, we can never get wrong.
Yeah, I can check real quick, but
Alright. Let's see. But yeah, in general, it's just a reminder, you know, please go ahead if you want anything to say and want to be featured on
at this point,
amazing
it doesn't even
podcast.
need to be a question. If you want to say something, leave a remark, anything,
Oh, you know
please contact us.
please contact us.
Nope.
Just on our knees here. We
Yeah.
need contact.
We're struggling, okay?
Exactly. Cut us some slack. It's a long podcast.
It really is.
But it always
Oh,
flies.
shout out, we have a new follower. Shout out to Finja for following us. We appreciate it very much.
Yeah, big shout out, Finja. If you're listening to this, drop a voice note. Please. Are you single, please? Also, stream Dirty Santa.
Oh, yeah. Now that you still have... When is this gonna...
Tuesday.
That's before Christmas, right?
That's before Christmas, yes.
So you still have some time.
Yeah. Also, send us videos and voice notes of you bumping Dirty Santa with your family under the Christmas tree. Important.
Very important. And, add it to your Christmas playlist.
Oh, that's a must.
It's kind of, it's a new vibe to your playlist. It's a new niche that you can explore in your 2021 rap, that you explored a new genre.
What is the music genre you would describe the song as?
Holiday hip hop.
True holiday. That's crazy, man.
And it's a sort of a acquired taste.
Yeah, it's like fine wine.
Yeah.
Not everybody can afford it, but it's delicious if you get used to it. Mm-hmm. So if you stream it 150 times, I guarantee you'll like it better than you did the
Yeah,
first
and
time.
it's kind of like whiskey, you drink it to be cool. You don't actually like it, but
Okay. I guess it's one way to see it. But, I mean, we're 52 minutes in. Time flies when you're making a podcast.
uh-huh.
So, yeah.
Very affordable therapy session here.
Yeah.
Is there anything you want to get off your chest?
My uncle has been a pressing issue. But on a real note, I think this is the episode that drops before Christmas.
Yeah.
So I want to say, if you spend Christmas not in your usual territories and with other people, or not the way that you want it to be, don't worry about it. Hopefully it's just this year. Still make the best of it, and just be happy that you live through another Christmas.
Yeah, and you gotta improvise. We mentioned this before. This is also why we made this podcast. Is we had a different idea, but it didn't work out because of COVID. And now we started this, and look at us. We're actually having fun, and we're really creating something, and it's doing us good. So maybe you're doing something else this year, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing.
Exactly. Just keep pushing.
Keep pushing and work within your boundaries, and don't be afraid. That sounds wrong. I don't want to say work within your boundaries, because you always, gotta within
big.
Think big, but stay within the corona measurements. Be safe.
Yeah. Always take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Don't overwork yourself. Don't overexhaust yourself. Do something if you feel like doing it, but also because you want to do it.
Yeah, don't be afraid to push some boundaries.
Yeah, be brave. Step out of there, and magical things will happen. Just like Christmas. Yeah, well, I guess that's it. Happy Hanukkah. Merry Christmas. And
Feliz Navidad.
Gotta get some for Spanish listeners. Where are people in Ukraine at?